Welcome back to part 2 of our OBS for Beginners series. Today I'm going to show you how to work with scenes and how to work with sources. Are you ready? Let's get at it. Okay, when you first start working with OBS, you'll see this screen. And you'll notice that often to the bottom left, I have a series of scenes. Now, when you first start, you'll have just one scene, and that scene will be blank. And what I mean by blank is it won't have any sources in it. As you'll notice, I have a display capture, and what it's capturing right now is my computer's monitor, my computer's desktop. And as you notice, I have this infinite series of windows, and that's because I'm capturing my entire window, and that window is obviously being captured inside of a window inside of a window. Now, you don't get this when you're not showing OBS, and I'd like to show you that by dragging that off to the side. And as you'll notice, now just my desktop appears. You don't see OBS, but you're going to see this infinite window while we work with OBS here for a moment. So back to the scenes. Scenes are like blank canvases. Okay, so think of these scenes as like blank pieces of paper, okay? And on these blank pieces of paper, this is your scene, and you can put on these different scenes, different items or objects. There's our background, and let's say we want to put a webcam up. There we go. And we can move these around any way we want. Okay, I want to move this over to here. Boom, there we go. And then I want to make another scene and put up another image or background or some sort of display capture, and then I want my webcam to be a little bit larger this time. So here we go. Now we have two different scenes, and we can go back and forth and select scene 1 and scene 2, and this is kind of like controlling a camera. And these are like the scenes, and all the items in here are called the sources. Okay, so let's go back into OBS, and then I will show you what that looks like, creating these backgrounds or these images and working with these sources inside these scenes. Okay, so I have several scenes created here, and these two scenes I created, webcam and desktop, and I created those for this tutorial because I'm going to need to capture my desktop to show you how to use OBS. I also created a webcam so I could record my webcam for this YouTube video. But when you first start using OBS, you're going to have just one scene. And that scene is right here, and it will be blank. And by blank, I mean the sources will be empty. There will be no sources in here. So what I'm going to show you how to do is create a new scene. And you create a new scene by hitting the plus symbol down here in the bottom left under scenes. And you'll name your scene. So for this example, I named it desktop. So imagine if you named it desktop. I can type today and hit OK. Once you hit OK, that scene will pop up right here. And then the sources inside of that will also be blank. The first thing you want to do is most likely do a display capture. That's going to capture your monitor or what's on your computer screen. What we'll do is we'll assume that this is blank, that this does not exist here. We'll hit the little plus button under sources. Again, this is with desktop scene selected. We go over to sources, we hit the plus symbol, and these are all of the different options of sources that we can have in that particular scene. And we're going to click display capture. Now I've already added a display capture, but if this is your first time using OBS, you're going to create a new capture, and in my case I'd named it display capture, and I hit OK. Now when you hit OK, it's going to take you to another screen to select your display capture. Let me go ahead and hit cancel, and I'm going to take you to that next screen by going into my displays capture properties. Okay, so this would have been the scene if I would have clicked OK on that add a new display capture. I happen to have two monitors. I have a display 1 and display 2. Most people usually have one display, but if you have two displays, or sometimes you may even have more, 3 or 4 displays, you'll see all of those displays listed here. The display I want to capture is my display 1. Its current resolution is 1920 by 1080, and so we'll click OK, and when I click OK, that'll place display capture and my screen inside of this window. Now this is what I explained earlier, and this is why I'm getting that infinite window screen, that window inside of a window inside of a window, and that's because I'm capturing my display, and guess what's on my display right now? OBS is on my display, and it's putting OBS in this preview window, and so on and so forth. So that is how you create your first source inside your scene. And we can create many, many more sources inside of this. The next thing we're going to want to do is let's go ahead and put another source in there. Let's put in a webcam. That's a nice, quick, easy one to do. So we're going to go to video capture device. And I already have an existing webcam. I have a Logitech webcam. So I'm going to hit add existing. We're going to click that existing webcam, this existing source, hit OK. All right, now I'm full screen. Now, why is that? Okay, all I did is add a webcam. I wanted my webcam down in the bottom left or right-hand corner. Well, that's because my webcam is a 1920 by 1080 video source. Well, how big is my scene? Well, let's check that real quick. Let's go to File. Let's go ahead and go back to our display capture real quick. Let's go to File, Settings, Video. And if you'll notice, our canvas is 1920 by 1080. Now, our canvas, again, is this piece of paper. It's the scene, and it's how big it is, right? It's the canvas that we're working with, 1920 by 1080. So anything that we put in there that's 1920 by 1080 is going to be full screen. Let's go back to that desktop source that I created. Let's re-enable that webcam. And again, my webcam is 1920 by 1080. So what do I need to do? We're going to actually use, and we're going to scale this down, and we're going to position these where we want. We're going to take this webcam down, size it down, and to do that, what we're going to do is, let's see if you can see this. We're going to take this and we're going to click. We're going to click in the corner of this item. Do you see that? Oh, there we go. Now you can see my cursor. We can actually move this around, and I'm just doing that with my mouse, and I can click on the corners and make this smaller or bigger. Then we can drag it over to the right side of the screen. We can drag it up to the top. Now, if you'll notice, it's over top of my desktop, right? The other thing we need to consider are these layers. So just like these pages, you notice that I have them layered. These items or these sources, I have them layered on top of each other. So if I want to move this one, I want to move them down here, it stays on top of the display source I have right here. Well, what happens if we tuck this and hide it behind here? We want it more like this. Oh, I just lost my photo. And we want it partially covered up. Well, we can totally do that. All right. The way we do that, right here in the bottom of our scenes are our sources, bottom of our sources. You notice how they're stacked on top of each other. The item that is on top, just like a layer, shows up over top of the other source. So what happens if we drag our Logitech webcam beneath our display capture? What's going to happen? It goes away. Well, why is that? It's still there. You might even see that little red outline there. Well, the reason why it's still there, but it's not visible, it's behind our display capture. Our display capture is stacked up on top of our Logitech webcam. Well, there's a quick solution for that. Let's say we want to size down our display capture. Why would you do that, you ask? Well, there's lots of different reasons, and there's lots of different formats of how you use OBS and how you set up your desktop scenes. But let's do this. Let's go ahead and size this down. There we go. Maybe you want to have your stream look like this. Okay, you want your desktop up here and you want your webcam down here in the bottom left. And maybe you want to use these other blank spots for other different sources. We can put all sorts of things in there. We can put images. Let's go ahead and do just that. Let's put in an image or a widget of some kind. Let's see what we got. Let's click that plus symbol. Again, we're in the desktop scene. We're over in our sources here. We got two sources right now. We're gonna hit a plus symbol. And let's do, let's just do an image. Okay, let's see if we can find an image. We're gonna call this one upper left image. Hit OK. And now I gotta go find an image. What do I want to find for an image? You know what I have right here? Let's go to logos. Let's go to logos instead. All right, so I want to select my logo right here. There we go. So now it floats over top of both my webcam and my desktop. And why is that? Because right here, that upper left image is stacked on top of display capture and on top of Logitech webcam. Now I like my webcam to be on top of my display capture for obvious reasons, and I'm going to drag and click on this display capture. When you select it, by the way, the item that you have selected turns red. And it has these, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 boxes around it, these squares. These are squares that you can click and drag and resize, okay? And I like to do this. I like to have it just come over top that. I think that looks really neat to have just a little bit of overlap. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this upper left image and we're gonna drag it to the upper left. But I don't like it covering my screen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to size it down and just put it up here in the upper left. I like it right about there, okay? So now we have 3 sources inside of our desktop scene. And we have that upper left image, we have the display capture, and we have the Logitech webcam. So that's how you add sources. You can manipulate them, you can resize them. There's a couple more things that you can do to them, and that is you can actually hide them. So you can leave sources there and you can hide them. Maybe you want to hide something temporarily and bring it back. So let's say I wanted to do a demonstration like this, and I wanted to show you my desktop, but I didn't want my logo in the upper left-hand corner, but I wanted to leave it there for other videos. Well, you notice that there's a little eyeball right here next to that particular source. Click that little eyeball, and that makes it invisible. It hides the image or hides that source. Click it again, becomes ungrayed, and now you're seeing that source again. We can do the same thing with the webcam. My webcam has disappeared, even though that source still exists in this scene. We'll click that, bring it back. So pretty simple, right? We're gonna do one more thing, and that is we're gonna create another scene. So we've created a scene called desktop, okay? And we have a desktop there, and we put our little webcam in the bottom left. And let's go ahead and create that other scene, just like this. And we want our desktop with a really big webcam, okay? So let's go over here to scenes. I'm gonna slide and make my webcam just a little smaller so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna go right over here to scenes, and I'm gonna create a new scene. And just for simplicity, we're gonna call it, let's call it large webcam with desktop. I like to be very descriptive with my scenes so I know what they are when I like to switch around to them. So I'm gonna hit OK. Okay, so you should be looking at a blank screen. So the very first thing I need to do is I need to go to our sources. So that source window, hit the plus button, hit display capture. I know you can't see this, but just bear with me. We're gonna add an existing source and we're gonna hit display capture. Okay, we're back. So you'll notice that I hit this plus button down here. I clicked display capture. I added an existing and I clicked display capture right there. That added this right here, and now we have our screen back and you can see the mouse and you can see OBS. All right, now that we have that out of the way, the next thing I want to do is we want to add that webcam back. We want to hit the plus symbol. This is going to be a video capture device. We've already added our Logitech webcam, so we're going to click add existing. Logitech webcam, hit OK. It's full screen again, and it's over top of our display capture, so we're going to need to resize this down a little bit. All right, now I did say I wanted a large webcam though, right? So I want to go like this. Let's put this one up here to the upper left. Let's go to our display capture. Now everything's hidden behind there. So what we want to do is we want to select our display capture, and when it highlights red, we want to drag that corner, that little box right there, and we want to make the webcam real big and the display capture real small. There we go. Let's go just like that. Okay, so now we have 2 different scenes that we can click back and forth between. We have our desktop scene, which happens to have a little webcam in it and an image in the upper left-hand corner. And then when we click in the bottom left, we click the scenes and we select large webcam with desktop. Watch it switch to that scene. There we have it. We've created 2 scenes, we put some sources in there, and now we can switch back and forth between desktop and large webcam with desktop. Pretty simple. All right, thank you for stopping by. I hope this tutorial was helpful and introducing you into scenes and sources in OBS. I hope you'll come back again and watch other tutorials in which we'll dive deeper into OBS. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. Feel free to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, keep calm and game on.